Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. I'm Priscilla. I'm the owner of A Life Full of Simplicity. Today's video is going to be my August reflections. So pretty much in these videos, I talk about, the decks I use through the month, what I use them for, how I use them, such spreads and things like that. Then I talk about any new things that came into my collection, so any new decks that arrived into my collection. Then I talk about books that I have read during the month or received during the month, like that I brought into my book collection. And then lastly, I talk about YouTube. So any YouTube videos that I want to talk about that I really enjoyed watching and think deserve to be, spoken about, so other people who haven't watched them can go watch them. So yes. So let's get into it. We're going to start off with my daily decks. So my daily decks for the month of August were the pairing of the Guardian of the Night Tarot with the Earth Alchemy Oracle. So the tarot is by M.J. Cullinane. It is published by Hay House, and the Oracle is by Katie Jane Wright and illustrated by Nikki Strange. And this is published by, I believe, Watkins Publishing. Yeah, Watkins Publishing. And I do have unboxings of both of these on my channel, so I will leave them linked down below so you can check them out. And I really enjoyed this particular pairing. So this is the Oracle. These are the backs. I really loved the messages that are on the card with the keywords. So I did get a lot of great readings with these decks together. So my daily practice is typically a focus for the day, which I pull from the Oracle deck. And then I do an embrace and let go from the tarot deck. So this is the backs. I love her artwork so much. I think it's so beautiful. Two swords, orca, the sun. Oh, so beautiful. So yeah, so that's typically what I do for my daily. Now, I did that pretty much almost for the entire month, I'm pretty sure. Let me just look at my book here. I'm gonna put that here so I can see. But yeah, I pretty much, let's focus this. Pretty much did this for the entire month. I also select a witch's rune. So a friend of mine made me some witch's runes, sent them to me. So I use these as part of my daily practice. They're really pretty. I love them so much. Let's see if I can focus on this. And I usually pull one for my daily reading as well. So yes, I love these very much. I'll keep this. Keep this here. That. So that's typically what I do. So focus, embrace, let go, and witch's rune. And I did that pretty much until the 22nd of August. And then from the 23rd to the 28th, I didn't do any daily readings. I was pretty busy at work, so I was always tired and didn't feel like doing them after work. And I do my daily readings whenever I have the time. So yes. And then the last 3 days of August, I decided to change my daily practice. So I found a spread by Oracle of Stardust where it talks about, I think, the energy for the day and then the advice for the day. And I changed energy to focus because that's what I prefer. So I did focus for the day and then advice for the day. And then I pulled a witch's rune. So witch's rune is still there. So then I pulled focus from here, advice from here, and then a witch's rune. For the last 3 days of August. And I think I'm going to continue with this combo into September. Well, I have been. It's now September when I'm filming this. So I have been continuing this particular. I just find it easier because it's only 2 cards plus a rune, so it's only 3. And I find that a little easier to do when it comes to a daily practice. Less things than doing 3 cards and then a witch's rune. So yes, in regards to my daily practice, I did change up my monthly tracker. So my monthly tracker now is on Google Sheets. I laid it out really nicely and then put some formulas in so it could tell me what the duplicates were and whatnot. So let me get those out for the Oracle, the Tarot, and the runes. So in regards to the Oracle cards that I got repeating of, the first one was the Astrophyllite and Ginkgo. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Apologies if I didn't. And this card was really focused for me anyway, in regards to like seeing signs and symbols and things like that. And I know that I see a lot of angel numbers, I guess you would say. So like 444, 111, 1111, 222, 333. Like I see a lot of those a lot of the time. And I feel like this card was coming up a lot because I was seeing a lot of those. So yes. And then we had the crystal rare that came up a lot, which it was in regards to focus, in regards to making sure that you're focused on your intention and where you're headed and things like that. Then another card I got a lot of was the golden topaz and yellow rose. This was in regards to abundance. And then lastly, petalite, I think is how you pronounce that. And for me, what stood out in regards to this card was really seeing the bigger picture. And I think I got it quite a bit with this card. So I felt like I wasn't seeing the bigger picture in regards to the signs that I was getting. So that's in regards to the Oracle. Now, in regards to the Tarot, I was getting 4 of Wands a lot, which to me made sense because August was quite a 9 of Pentacles month for me. So there was a lot of things to celebrate, in my opinion. And I think that's also why I was getting the 6 of Wands a lot. Really about just the accomplishments and celebrating the accomplishments that came up. I also got the Hanged Man a bit, changing perspectives and things like that. Ace of Pentacles. New opportunities. I had quite a number of new opportunities come to me in August, so that was fantastic. Then we had the Magician. Ace of Cups. To me, this is new connections, which I think as well. We had the 5 of Cups that came up. Not too much. I think it only came up twice, but... And then lastly, Judgment came up a few times as well. Then in regards to the runes, the witch's runes, I had Romance come up, Waves, Man, Star, Eye, and then the blank rune. So Eye and Star and Waves, I think, were my most pulled throughout the entire month. Man, I got twice. Romance, I got 3 times. Blank, I got twice. But these were my most pulled during the month of August. It was crazy how many times I got these 3 particular runes. So still sticking with the decks, the Guardian of the Night Tarot and the Earth Alchemy Oracle, I'm going to get into the spreads that I did with these particular decks. So the first spread that I did for the month of August was my month ahead spread. I found a new spread to use by Angelorium called the Simple Month Ahead Spread. You're just supposed to pull a major, a court card, and a minor. And it's just 3 cards, and that's it. And I thought that was fun. Very simple, as the title says, which I enjoy sometimes, some simple spreads. So I only use the Guardian of the Night Tarot for this particular spread. And the first question was Major Arcana, main developmental theme in the month ahead. And I pulled the World card. For me, this was focusing on productivity, on completing different things that I needed to complete in order to attain goals. And that's how I took that as. Then the next question was a court card, and it's best mental attitude to cultivate. And I got the Queen of Wands. And to me, that was, being optimistic, being ambitious, things like that, towards what I'm working towards, and to follow my ambitions and things like that. And then the last one was a minor arcana card, and it said action advice. And I pulled the 10 of Cups. So what I got from that particular card was to connect emotionally to what I'm doing. You can't really be productive and complete things without being emotionally connected to it. And that's how you can attain goals and be ambitious and things like that. So that's really what I got from this particular reading. So next I want to talk about the simple Sunday spread that's created by Boho Tarot, so Dawn Michelle, every single Sunday for her Facebook group. So I am part of her Facebook group, love her Facebook group. If you haven't already joined her Facebook group, I'll leave a link to it down below in the description box in case anyone would like to go join. So every Sunday she puts up a spread to do, and it's called a simple Sunday spread. And I love it because you have a question, and then it's supposed to be a simple 3-card reading. But what I did was something completely different. I decided to take Oracle card for the initial question, and then do a 3-card reading with the cards, with the question. Each question is for each card. So for the first question, for the first reading that I did, which I did it late. It wasn't even Sunday, but I did it on the 2nd of August. It was supposed to be the July Sunday spread, but I didn't do it in July. I did it on August 2nd. So the initial question was, what guidance does Spirit have for me today? And I pulled the Aquamarine and White Lily card. And just generally, I took this to be as being open to sudden changes. Things change and I have to be flexible with that, pretty much. Then the smaller questions that go with each card that are supposed to reflect the initial question the first one was reminder from the past, and I pulled Queen of Pentacles. And I focused on, it being about being grounded or bringing in grounded and stable energy. Especially if I'm going to have a hard time with going with the flow in terms of these last minute changes. Then the next one was a message from the present, and I pulled the 6 of Pentacles. Just move this up a bit. There we go. And I took this to be that I should be generous and gentle with myself. Sometimes changes for me can cause an imbalance because you're not used to it, right? You're not used to sudden changes and things. You're used to planning and things like that. And that I took it as that I shouldn't be hard on myself if things change suddenly, and just give myself time. Then the last question was insight for the future, and I pulled the Ace of Cups, which again, opening your heart, being accepting of new experiences is what I took that as. And that's how I related them to the initial question where I pulled the Oracle card for. Then the next simple Sunday spread I did was on August 7th. The question this time was, what will this cycle manifest for me? And I pulled Nuamite, not sure how you pronounce that, and Black Dahlia. Question was, what will fade in regards to that? So I pulled the 5 of Cups. I took this to be, focusing on fears that are holding me back from my truest potential, and that I need to embrace these 2 cups that are whole and complete. That's really what I took that as. Then the next question was, what will grow? And I pulled the 8 of Cups. And I took this to mean the opportunities that I go towards on my new path is what will grow, because you're leaving things behind to go towards something new. And then lastly, what will shine? And I pulled the Judgment card. And I took this to mean myself. I'm the one who will shine, you know, shedding the old, as you can see with the snake here, and accepting the new is what I took this particular reading as a whole as. The next Simple Sunday spread that I did was on August 15th. So the initial question was, how can I release my limiting beliefs? And I pulled the Diamond Ray. I pretty much took this to mean that I need to sit with them and try to understand, you know, why I'm thinking this, or, you know, what about this? Like, why am I thinking this? What about this can I change? And things like that. So that's what I took this particular card to mean. Then the next question was name it. And I took this as, in terms of a question, I took this as, what are my limiting beliefs? And I pulled the Tower. And I took this to mean being too hard on myself, with needing to be prepared in regards to everything. You know, the Tower is about sudden changes and things like that. So that's what I took it from that. And then the next one was confront it. And as a question, I took this as, why is this holding me back? And I pulled the Moon. And for this particular card, I put that, like, I took it to mean that I'm not seeing the situation for what it is, and that I put too much pressure on myself. Then, you know, things may seem chaotic and whatnot because I'm putting a little too much pressure on myself, and then I just need to go with the flow and let things unfold. And then lastly, release it. So how can I let this go? And then I got the Two of Swords, and really I took this to mean, you know, I need to make a choice. What choice is going to be, kind of thing. So that's how I took this particular reading. Then the second to last Simple Sunday spread I did on August 21st. The initial question was, how can I practice self-gratitude today? I pulled the pink Chalice Donny. Honestly, I have no idea how you pronounce this, so you can see it there. So I took this to mean that I can do this through self-expression, you know, thinking about creative expression and how I can show gratitude towards myself in that regard. The next question was within me, so self-gratitude within me. I pulled the High Priestess, and I pretty much took this to mean that I could show gratitude towards myself through trust. So having trust within myself. The next one was outside of me, and I got the Five of Pentacles, and I took this to mean seeking support when you need it. And I said that this is self-gratitude because, you know, you're taking care of yourself and not letting situations, you know, get out of control and things like that. And then lastly, just for me, so gratitude just for me, I pulled the Fool. And for me, I took this as being self-gratitude is doing something for yourself that you may have been putting off, you know, due to fear or lack of confidence or whatever it may be. So pretty much what all of this is really trusting myself, being who you are, and going for it. And then the last Simple Sunday spread I did on August 28th. The question was, how can I renew positivity in my life? And I pulled the Pearl and Larimar, not sure, card. And really it was about letting go of negativity. It was like the most simplest card ever. So the initial, like the first question was what I need to focus on. I pulled the Ace of Pentacles, focus on abundance. You know, when you let go of negativity, you're opening yourself up to many possibilities and opportunities kind of things. And then the next question was, what am I missing? And I pulled the Four of Cups. And I took this to mean that I'm letting my emotions get the better of me, clouding my needs. So I'm missing what my needs are, and I need to focus on myself more. And then lastly, what I need to embrace. And I pulled the Emperor, and I took this to mean that, I need to embrace, control over my emotions and less things clouding my mind, is pretty much what I took this reading as. So that was the last that I used of the Earth Alchemy Oracle. It was in the Simple Sunday spreads. After that, I didn't do any other spreads with using this particular deck in it. So I'm just going to move this off to the side. I still had a few other spreads that I did with the Guardian of the Night Tarot. So I ended up doing 2 Lion Gate spreads on August 8th. So the first one was like a really simple one. It was by Healing Through Tarot. And it was really just find the Strength card, and the card before it is for this question, and the card after it is for this question. So actually it was only 2 questions, so 2 cards, which was really great and easy and simple. So I ended up doing that one first. And the first question was, what will the Lion Gates portal activate for me? And I pulled, well, what was before it was the Knight of Pentacles. And this was pretty much, about determination and balance, being more productive and finding better balance between work and life type of situation. And then the next question was, where are you leveling up with this portal? So leveling up in this particular spread meant growth. And the card after that was in terms of the 7 of Cups. And I took this to mean like narrowing down my choices of things and focusing more on the types of decisions that I'm making. This means taking time with my choices and not rushing through things. So that's pretty much what I took this particular reading to mean. Then I did a second Lion Gate spread. It was a 3-card spread. Unfortunately, I have no idea who it's by. The picture that I found didn't have a copyright logo or says by who. I found it on Pinterest, thought it was interesting. So pretty unfortunate that the person who created it didn't put their name on the photo. So yeah. So I don't know who was by. So the first question was, what energy do I need to let in? And I pulled the 3 of Swords. 3 of Swords. I took this to mean like healing energy that needs to be let in, bring more healing aspects into myself and into my practice kind of thing. Second question was, what can I give back to the universe? And I pulled the 10 of Swords. Now I took this to mean like I should give my weaknesses to the universe so that I can have a weight lifted off of me, and that the universe will help me with that. That's pretty much what I took the 10 of Swords to mean. And then lastly, how do I manifest my highest good? And I got 8 of Pentacles, and I took this to mean, that I can do this through mastery and hard work. Like, you can't really manifest your highest good without putting in the work into it. So that's how I took this particular card, and this was the other reading that I did. Now, the last reading that I did with the Guardian of the Night Tarot was the Virgo season spread by AP_astrology on Instagram. It was a 4-card spread, so pretty simple. I love his spreads because they're always they're not too long. And they're very good. I actually really enjoy them. So the first card was, what may I learn or discover in Virgo season? And I pulled the 10 of Swords. And pretty much I took this as, not letting anyone take advantage of me, be weary of that, but, remember that things happen, that I shouldn't dwell on things, moving forward, leaving things in the past is very important. And then second question, from this learning, what course of action will help me process best? And I pulled the 7 of Swords. So I guess I was like, be cautious. People around you may not know, of people you may not know well. So be cautious of them and like what their intentions are, is what I took that to mean. So yes. And then the third question was, how can I adapt to this information, learning, or discovery? I pulled the Page of Wands, and I took this to mean that, I need to be creative in regards to people and how they treat me, make changes that I want to see. So I should be the change that I want to see, is really how I took this. And then lastly, in what ways can I integrate this learning into my life? And I pulled the Nine of Wands. So I took this to mean that I should integrate a way that I can defend myself, but again, that I should know when to move on and leave the past in the past. So defend yourself, but know when to move away from what's going on. And that was my Virgo season spread. Now I'm going to move on to my planetary practice. So for my planetary work, I used the Wild Unknown Alchemy deck by Kim Krans. This is published by Chronicle Prism, which is a subcompany of Chronicle Books. So these are the backs. I did film an unboxing of this, and it'll be up soon on my channel. I love it. It's fun. It's great. It's actually not that bad to shuffle either, because they have edges. You can like hold on to the edges. So shuffling it's actually pretty easy in my opinion. You just have to make sure that they're constantly going the same way in terms of like the edges. So I have to do that quite a bit so I can get a hold of it, or else it starts going everywhere. So yes, so I use that for my planetary practice, which I put in my planner. So this is my planner, and this is the calendar view. I use the calendar view to do my planetary practice because I'm not going to sit here and write like a lot. It's like a small sentence to go with each planet of the day of the week. And yes, I've been enjoying this. I started this last month because I saw Kyra Getchell's video on this kind of practice, and I really enjoyed it. So I wanted to start it myself. So I did. I'll leave her original videos down below so you can check them out, like I always do whenever I talk about this particular practice. So yes, these were all the ones that I got. So I did have some repeating cards that came up during this practice. The first one was the Sap of the Moon plant. Now, this particular card came up twice, and it came up literally the day after. So the 9th and 10th, I received this particular card, which I found really funny because it came up, literally I got it, and then the next day I got it again. So that was pretty funny. And then another one that I got a few times was Separation. Let's see where I got this. I got this on the 20th. So I got it on the 3rd. Just look here, 3rd, the 20th, and the 29th. So I received this card 3 times. So that was interesting. And then I also pulled Tin a few times as well. So I had it on the 4th, and then the 21st. So I pulled it twice. And then lastly, Silver. I got it on the 17th and the 31st. So this one actually was for the same planet, which I thought was really funny as well. They were both pulled on the Wednesday. I don't think I pulled it for anything else. No, just those two, the 17th and 31st. So very interesting. I did interpret them differently in a way. So yes, did enjoy this. I love this practice, and I'm going to keep going with it because it's been very interesting to see and to work with the planets in like an everyday capacity and pulling cards for them. So I've been really enjoying this particular work that I've been doing. So my next practice is actually my weekly practice, which I've decided to change up for September. So stay tuned for the September reflections for that change. But pretty much what I do for my weekly practices, I pull one card each week just to be a focus for the week. I decided to use the Daily Crystal Inspiration cards by Heather Askinosie and published by Hay House for that purpose for the month of August. These are the backs. I do have an unboxing coming, so stay tuned for that. They are glossy cards, so they stick together. But they're very simple. They just have the crystal, the name of the crystal, and then a sentence underneath. So I really enjoy working with this kind of energy. So yes. And the way my practice works is that in my planner, I'll just move this to the back here. In my planner, each week here at the bottom in the notes section, hopefully you can see it, in the notes section, I will pull my focus for, I was calling it the word of the week in the beginning, but then I changed it to focus. So focus for the week. So the first week I pulled aquamarine, which is go with the flow. And I write my little interpretation. And then from that, I make a sigil to represent that focus. Following week, hematite, ground yourself. Again, this was the sigil that I got from that. Then the following week, I got carnelian, which is feed your creativity. This was the sigil that I got from there. And then for the first time ever, I got a repeating card, which is the hematite, ground yourself. Very strange. I've never gotten a repeat card in any of my weeklies before, so that was interesting. And I decided to, interpret it differently than what I interpreted as previously. So this is how I interpreted it the first time. This is how I interpreted it the second time. And I used different words this time for my sigil, so I wouldn't get the same sigil. And I got that sigil instead, which was really interesting. Just very linear, in my opinion. So yes, my first repeating card. Very interesting to have seen that. So yes, this is how I did my weekly practice in my planner, because that's where I put it. So back to some of the spreads that I did, since I'm finished with my daily and weekly practices. I decided to do 2 spreads for the first time with my Lenormand deck. So this one's a new one to my collection. I only have 2. So I have the cute little Lenormand, which is already on my channel, and I have this one. The unboxing is not yet on my channel, but I do have one filmed and it's coming soon. So yes, excited because I've been learning Lenormand. The only thing I don't like is that this box doesn't have the thumb hole things, so it makes opening the box difficult. So yes, so I did 2 spreads. I hadn't done any spreads yet with Lenormand because I've been trying to learn the cards, but I thought, I think the best way to learn the cards would be to do a spread. So I did a 3-card Lenormand vignette, and it's very interesting. I do love this, very Celtic looking deck. I love it. It's so fun. So fun. So yeah, I just did a general reading. So I pulled the tree, the whip, and the coffin for my 3-card reading. And the way so I used the cute little Lenormand guidebook because that is really good for beginners on how to read readings. So what it told me is that you're supposed to read it as A plus B, then B plus C, and it's supposed to be first the tree, then the whip, and finally the coffin in terms of how you read it. So I read these 2 together as lack of growth due to conflict, most probably mental conflict. And I wrote that there's a focus on needing to get back into shape mentally. Then I read these 2 together as this conflict will be ending soon. So overall, like the overall gist of the reading is I wrote that there's a lack of growth due to some mental conflict going on. If I focus on my mental health, to get back on track, then the conflict will end and I'll feel more like me. That's how I read this 3. Hopefully it's good. I don't know how I read it because I'm new to Lenormand and how it works. But I definitely enjoyed doing the 3 card. I ended up doing another one, and it was the Petit Tableau, which is the mini tableau reading of 9 cards instead of the whole deck. Never again. That was like the longest. It took me 2 days to do because I was so tired. So tired. It took me 2 days. 2 days to do. To reflect on, which was absolutely insane. So this was my Petit Tableau. I got the Tower, Whip, Star, Moon, Lady, person, I don't know. It's called Lady in this deck. So Lady, Clover, Sneak, Coffin, and the Garden. This is what the Garden is represented as in this particular deck. And it took forever. I looked, so based on the information in the Cute Little Norman guidebook, they said that the center is the focus for this particular deck, and then I should look at the combinations throughout the entire 9 cards, look at sister cards and things like that, then interpret them with the A plus B, then B plus C formula for each row, each column, which took me forever. Then you're supposed to do the cross, so these 3 together overall, and then you're supposed to look at the cornerstones, which are the corner cards, and how they, like, they're the themes of this particular reading. So I did all that, and then I put an overall interpretation. So again, this is a general reading just for practice. So my overall interpretation was, you are someone with creative abilities, but you may be going through some conflict within yourself, which is making it difficult to set boundaries. Seek some guidance, as well as spend time introspecting on your conflict. From this, you'll find inner transformation, which will lead to spiritual closure. This will allow you to be creative and inspired again. With hard work, you'll end up with some great accomplishments, is what I got from all these cards. And I boiled that down to that small paragraph from doing all the other work on this particular reading. It was crazy. I don't know if I want to do a 9 card again because this was really long, but I did enjoy the 3 cards. So I might do some more 3 card spreads this month just to keep practicing my skills a bit more. Then I did the Bedtime Tarot spread by Lunith. We all know this deck. I use the Amenti Oracle. This is by Jennifer Sodini and Natalie Miller. And this is published by RP Studio. So yes, love this deck, so fun. And I did only 1 spread like that for this month. Again, some pictures of the cards. I do have an unboxing of this on my channel, or flip through rather. So yes, I love the backs on this deck. So I'm just gonna move that there. So this is a 3 card spread. It's to be done, before bedtime. And then the first question is, good night. How do I release today's energy? I hold purity in high esteem. Then the next question is, sleep tight. What should I notice in my dreams tonight? And I pulled, I can be trusted. And then lastly, don't let the bed bugs bite. What should I reflect on about today? And I regard all altars with respect. So pretty much the first card I took to mean that I should cleanse and reactivate the chakras, especially those that would have been used the most throughout the day, is what I took from the meaning of this particular card. Next one was noticing if you have an element of trust in your dream, or feel that you can trust in whatever is going on in the dream. Lastly, I took this to mean reflecting on how you use your sacred space. Is pretty much how I took these cards here. So next I move on to my moon decks. So I'm still using my Moonology Oracle cards by Yasmin Boland or Boland, artwork by Nyx Rowan, published by Hay House. And then I decided to pair it with the Muse Tarot by Chris Ann, also published by Hay House. So originally I was supposed to use the Dream Keepers Tarot, which is by Liz Houston, published by US Games, but I changed my mind and decided to go with this instead. So for the full moon in Aquarius, I did the spread by the Current Hermit. So like always, I pulled a card to represent the moon. So full moon in Aquarius, it says, show the world the real you. Of course, I always write a little thing about that particular card, and then I create a sigil. So that was the sigil I created. I love it. It's so cute. Show the world the real you. And that's what it looks like. So, yes. And then after that, I pull the different cards. So this was a 4-card spread. First question was, what old habits can I release to allow more freedom in my life? I pulled the 10 of Voices, which is the 10 of Swords. And I took this to mean that I shouldn't be dwelling on what ifs and what could have been, and keeping the past in the past, pretty much, is what I took that as. Then we have the second question, which is, which of my quirks may inspire others? And I pulled the 3 of Materials, which is the 3 of Pentacles. And for me, I took this to mean like my organizational skills, and it allows working with others to be much easier. Then the third question, what energy will help me create my ideal world? And I pulled the Page of Emotions, which is the Page of Cups. And I took this to mean creative energy. So pretty much inspiration is what helps to create and move forward, is what I took that to mean. And then lastly, how can I overcome blocks that keep me from connecting with others? And I pulled the 5 of Materials, which is the 5 of Pentacles. And really it's through support. You know, you can overcome anything if you have a good support system around you, is what I took that particular card to mean. So this was the reading that I did for the full moon in Aquarius. Then the second moon related reading that I did was the new moon reading in Virgo. And this time the spread that I used was from AP_astrology on Instagram. So I pulled, like usual, my card to represent the moon. So new moon in Virgo is a time to give rather than to take. Like usual, I wrote a little about it and then created my sigil. That was my sigil. Really, really nice. I liked how it turned out. So this was a 3-card reading. So the first question was, what do I need to nourish or nurture at this new moon? And I pulled the 2 of Materials, which was the 2 of Pentacles. Pretty much, it was talking about more balance. Then the second question was, what is something that I can harvest or enjoy now? And I pulled 4 of Inspiration, which is the 4 of Wands. And I took this to mean spending time with others is how that I can find more balance. Then the third question was, what is needed as I plant new seeds or take on new opportunities at this new moon? And I pulled the Page of Voices, which is the Page of Swords. And I took this to mean that it's all about knowledge. So before you do anything, you should learn more about the opportunity, or you know what you're trying to plant. So the type of intentions that you're trying to plant, you need to learn more about them. So this was the new moon in Virgo reading that I did. Then I did another spread called the Distorted Mirror spread. So this was to use the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck, which is by Kim Krans, published by Harper One. And I used it with the Wild Unknown Pocket Edition tarot deck because I really like the combination of these two. So the point of this particular spread was to find the mirror card. So this is the mirror card. And I wrote up a little thing about it. And then you're supposed to answer the questions. So it's supposed to be a tarot card, then another card from the archetypes, then tarot and tarot. So the first card was, or the first question was, what is the distortion? I pulled the 10 of Pentacles, and I think I know that I interpreted it as reaching and completing my goals. Like maybe comparing too much to others and not focusing on what really matters. Then the next question is, what energy do I need to access? And you're supposed to pull a card from the archetypes again. So I pulled, I shuffled and I pulled this card, the King, which I actually wrote down that this gives me like Emperor vibes, because it does. Like the meaning in the book gives me very Emperor vibes. So I put like accessing strength and confidence as the energies. So yeah, that's what will help me through the distortion, is really accessing my own strength, my own confidence in my abilities. Then the next question was, what is blocking this energy? And I pulled the Magician. And I took this to mean like believing in myself, the need to believe in myself and my capabilities. And then lastly, what is waiting to be manifested? And I pulled the 7 of Pentacles. And I took that as to mean like my goals coming to fruition. And that I need to believe in myself, stop being negative, and focus on my own strength and confidence in order for that to happen. It's pretty much how I took this particular spread. Keeping with the Wild Unknown Pocket Tarot deck and guidebook, I also did another spread with this particular deck. It was a Uranus retrograde spread that I created. And it was just a 3-card spread that I made. Very simple. So the first question was, what sparks change for you? And I pulled the Temperance card. And for me, it was, I interpreted this as personal growth. So focusing on my own growth, and that creates, a chain effect that sparks change within life. Next question was, what change do you need to adopt for yourself? And I pulled the 8 of Cups. And this was pretty much releasing the old to move towards the new, is how I interpreted that. And then lastly, what is blocking you from making this change? And I pulled the Judgment card. And to me, I interpreted this as, lack of acceptance. Without accepting that change is needed, you can't advance to the next step, pretty much is how I interpreted this as, because that's really true. When it comes to making change, if you don't accept it, you can't move forward. You stay stagnant. So yeah, so this was the spread that I created for the Uranus retrograde. Now, the last spread that I did for the month of August was the Soul Tarot spread. This is by Tarot for the Wild Soul. I received the spread actually by email. I subscribed to her newsletter and received the spread, and I thought it was really interesting. It's a 9-card spread, so it is very long. But I was like, you know what, I'm going to do this. So I used the Naked Heart Tarot. This is an indie deck. I do have an unboxing of this on my channel, so you can definitely check that out. It'll be linked down below, but here are some cards. If it'll focus. There we go. But yes, I do love this deck very much. It's pretty minimalistic, but it still gives great reading. So I do have an unboxing of this on my channel, so you can definitely check it out. Again, it'll be linked down below in the description box. So first question for this reading was, What is my anchor card for rich and full self-tending at this time? I don't know if I wrote that down properly, but anyway, it was the 10 of Cups. I'm gonna have to double check the question, but yeah, it was the 10 of Cups. And I pretty much took this to mean that it's about connecting to self-love and knowing that I'm complete as I am. And there was one part of the card that I really connected with in the guidebook, was the question in the guidebook that, do I feel connected to my full value and worth? And I really, really liked that question. It was like, it made a lot of sense in regards to the question I was supposed to be answering too. So I really love that. Next question was, how can I deepen my work with this anchor card? And I got the 8 of Pentacles. And pretty much I took this to mean, learning new skills that can better like self-love. So yes. And then the third question was, what can I let go of in order to cultivate more spaciousness? And I pulled the Heart of Swords, which is the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords. And I took this to mean, negative thinking, negative self-talk. The point, to see yourself at your fullest value and like worth is like the way you talk to yourself, pretty much. Next question was, what can I call in that would add sweetness to my life? And I got the Ace of Cups. I love this Ace of Cups so much. And I took this to mean like new connections that allow me to open up. Next question was, what is something I'm not doing that would bring deeper support? And I pulled Innocence of Wands, which is the Page of Wands. And this is being more open-minded with people who are encouraging me, is how I interpreted that. Next question was a message from my inner Empress. And I pulled the 7 of Swords. So, be weary of sabotage is how I interpret this. Let's move this up a bit so you can see it. Okay. And then next, how might one open myself more expansively to receiving at this time? And I got the 4 of Wands, which is I interpret it as believing that everything that brought me to this moment is what was needed. Then the next question was a message from my inner Queen of Pentacles, and I pulled the 6 of Cups, which is that I interpreted as finding happiness in memories from the past, but not staying too rooted into the past, because you can find happiness, but you can also find sadness in that. So not being too rooted in the past as well. And then lastly, how might I nurture myself and take space for my own self-tending? I pulled the Fool, which I interpreted as just taking the space that I need. And that's how I interpreted this. So I really enjoyed this spread. It was like super long, but very opening. I found it very opening. I really enjoyed this kind of spread. I will leave the link to her website down below if you want to sign up for her newsletter. Sometimes she sends some like fun spreads through her newsletter. So yes, I did love this very much. So now we move on to new decks that entered my collection in August. So the first one would have to be the Metaphysical Cannabis Oracle. Now this was sent to me by Liminal 11 for review. This deck is by Maggie Wilson and Ijiwa Ebenebe. and published by Liminal 11. I already have my unboxing up. It's live on my channel. I will leave it linked in the description box. It is available for pre-order in North America still. The release date is supposed to be September 20th, though it was pushed back quite a few times. It is already out in the UK though, or Europe itself. I believe you should be able to get it already from Book Depository. So if you check out my unboxing, I do link everywhere you can buy the deck. So if this is something that really interests you, you can get it, I believe, from Book Depository. I have a link there, so check if it's in stock. And they do have free shipping for many countries, so definitely check that out if that interests you, and if you're tired of waiting for Amazon to have it released, you can definitely pick it up from there. So yes, really excited. Check out my unboxing of this. I also have a series coming for this particular deck, which I'm really excited about. It'll be 8 videos, so definitely subscribe if you would like to see that series, and turn on that bell so you can be notified when it comes out. Super excited. Next deck that came into my collection was this one here. It's the Modern Hue Tarot. I don't have an unboxing yet on my channel. It is coming. It is coming. You will see it shortly after this video, I'm pretty sure. So this was also sent to me for review. This was sent to me by Witchwool Planner. So they are a tarot planner company. They're an indie brand, and they reached out to me to ask me if I wanted to be one of their ambassadors. So I'm really, really excited for that. It's super excited, it's a super exciting opportunity for me. So they sent me this for review because their planners are not out yet. They're available for pre-order. You can check out their website. I have been putting a link under my how to support this channel options, because I do receive a commission if you shop through my link. So if you shop through my link, I earn like a small commission of 15%. Again, this is at no cost to you. It just supports me and my channel. And yeah, and it also supports them as well because they have some great stuff. They have more than just tarot planners. They have decks as well. So they have 2 decks that belong to them. This one and another deck that I have not looked at. And then they also sell indie decks as well on their website. So they do wholesale indie decks, which is pretty fun. So you can definitely check that out. If there's specific indie decks, maybe you'll find them on their website. They also sell like home stuff, candles, and a bunch of other fun things. So yes, definitely excited for this particular deck. It's a recolored version of the RWS, and the colors are nice, like nice. So I'm excited for my unboxing to be live. And definitely check that out. You can also check out the link if you would like to purchase anything from their website, or just check out their website. Even if you don't make a purchase, just check out their website. And so, yes. And the last new deck that came into my collection in August was the Urban Crow Oracle. This is by MJ Cullinane and published by Hay House. This was originally indie, picked up mass market. Really excited to have this. I started pairing it with my Crow Tarot, obviously. So yes, really excited about this. My unboxing won't be live until October though, so don't expect it to come out this month. I'm keeping it for spooky month. I think the crows deserve it. They deserve to be unboxed during October, or you view the video in October because I already filmed it. So yeah, really excited about this. Very fun, very lovely, and yes, really exciting. Really excited stuff. Now moving on to books. So the only book that I read in August was this one. It was The Well of Truth, Stories of Spirit by Elizabeth Gould and published by Sparks Press. Now, I already have my review up, so it'll be linked in the description box below. This was sent to me by the author. Really, really excited. FSB Associates, which are a publicity company, reached out to me and asked if I wanted to be sent it for a review, and the author graciously sent it to me. Super fun. We have a little note here that I kept in the book. Oh, I love her writing. Her writing is so nice. So yes, I did go through a full review of this on my channel. Definitely really enjoyed this. I gave it 4 stars. Honestly, it was so good. The only thing that I said, of course, in my review was that I wished it was a bit longer because I loved it so much. I wanted more. Like, I really wanted more. But pretty much the premise of this is really you follow this main character through several short stories. This is her adult life. So it takes place in her adult life. And then each stage of her adult life, she encounters a goddess or a god, you know, some kind of deity that helps her along through some kind of thing that she's going through in that particular short story. So definitely enjoyed that. I do recommend it, especially if you're if you're 30 and over, you'll definitely enjoy this book. I find a lot of the things that I tabbed, especially all the pink ones, were a lot of good advice and lessons from the deities themselves, and I just found that I gained a lot of good information from this particular book. So definitely check out my review if you're interested. It'll be linked down below. Now moving on to YouTube, which is our last category for this video. I know this video has been long, so thank you for sticking with me if you're still around. So yeah, so for YouTube videos, I have 3 that I wanted to mention specifically. The first one was the collab that I did with Cosmic Lunar Soul. And I really enjoy collaborating with her. Honestly, Brittany is great. Her channel is great. Check her out. I will leave her channel link below so you can go subscribe if you haven't already. And we finished our tarot tag and talked about cardstock and different decks that that we're excited about, ones that we've pre-ordered, ones that are coming out that we're excited about, also decks that we would like to see enter the mass market realm from indie. So yes, that was a fun tag. We had a good conversation. We also talked about a bunch of other things because people joined and were asking questions and adding to the discussion. So it was really fun. We had a great time. Honestly, always a great time. So definitely check that out. I'll leave the video down below as well as her channel, so you can check it out in the description box. The next video was the top 10 intuitive decks. This video was by Lisa Papez. Love her channel. She does great things, so definitely check her out if you're not already subscribed. But I really enjoyed this particular video, mainly because we don't always think about what decks would be great for intuitive reading or what we consider as intuitive reading. So I definitely enjoyed her perspective on that particular topic. I myself, I'm planning to do a VR to this tag. I put it on my list of VRs that I want to do. And I'm excited because art is really a big thing for me when it comes to intuitive reading. So if I'm not, I really like to go based on art a lot of the time. So I'm excited to look through my decks and what would fit my ideal version of intuitive reading to answer her tag. So definitely excited. I'll leave her video link down below so you can check it out as well. And the last video I want to talk about was the Tarot to the Extremes, or Tarot Extremes, by Marlena Teresa. Definitely enjoy her channel as well, so I'll leave her channel link down below. And I will also leave this video down below so you can check it out. Another VR I'm planning to do at some point. It is on my list of VRs to create and film. I should say film to film. So yes, I'm really excited because it was very interesting to watch the different videos, not only her video, but the different responses to this particular video in how people view the extremes of each like prompt there's a few different prompts, and then you're supposed to put an extreme to it, whether it be one end of the extreme to the other end of the extreme. So I thought that was really interesting, and enjoy watching people's different picks and things on how they would, like, what their extremes are and things like that, because there's some that I was like, oh, that's interesting. I would not have pictured that kind of extreme, you know what I mean? So it was really interesting to watch. Definitely going to film my own video to see how that goes. And I'm actually going to be doing 2 videos to this particular extreme. One is going to be tarot related, the other is going to be oracle related, and I already wrote down my extremes for both categories. So I'm super excited. Just need to film them. Hopefully they'll be up at some point this year, hopefully. If not, then they will be a next year thing, because I kind of already have pretty much all my content planned, though I could probably fit some stuff in December. So we'll see how things go with that. Okay, so I do thank you so much for watching and sticking with me. That was everything from August. You can't even see all the decks that I have laid out right now, but these were all the decks I used in August, which was quite a lot for my collection. Really happy though that I was able to do a lot, because last month I barely did anything. So this was pretty big accomplishment for me, in my opinion, in regards to using a lot more decks, doing more readings and things like that, which is way more fun. So I do thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below, you know, what you did in the month of August, what decks you used, if you brought anything new in your collection. Did you read any books? Did you bring any new books into your collection? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. I do thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, as I have quite a lot coming. Don't forget to turn on that bell so you can be notified every time I post a brand new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it's greatly appreciated and it helps me in the long run. So thanks so much and have a great day.